All right, hey y'all, we're gonna talk about systems of equations today. So I'm going to go through these methods. With each of you, there are 3 methods for systems of equations. So first off, what a system of equations means is it's more than one equation, okay? So something that's already written like this in slope-intercept form. So remember your slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, we could quickly graph both of these. So when you graph both of these lines, the point in which they cross is their solution. Okay, so regardless of what method we're doing, because certain methods will be easier for certain problems, you're looking for where the 2 lines cross. Okay, so the 2 lines cross, that's going to be your solution. Okay, so we're going to talk about graphing, elimination, and substitution. So make sure you have your notes page out and go through it with me. All right, so it says it's important to be able to look at a system and recognize which method would be best. Okay, so when graphing is best, so the first thing we're talking about is graphing. Okay, so this is one system, this is another one, and this is another one. Okay, when y is alone in both equations, so in other words, when they are both in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, then graphing is going to be your easiest method to find your answer. Okay, so like this first one is y equals 3x minus 4 and y equals x plus 5. They're both in slope-intercept form, so graphing is going to be your easiest for that one. Okay, so right now I'm not actually going to go through an example all the way through. We're just kind of looking and trying to figure out how to tell what method's going to be easiest. And then we'll do examples. All right, and then the next thing is substitution. Okay, and you know substitution basically means you're plugging something in for something else. So when one or both of the equations has a variable alone. So look in here, you have an x that's alone, you have a y that's alone. Substitution is going to be easier there. All right, and in this one has a y value that's alone, so substitution would be easier there. And then over here, this one has an x that's alone. The rest of them looks like that's in standard form, okay? Because the x is alone here, then it is substitution will be easiest, okay? And then elimination is our third method. Okay, and it is easiest when the like terms are on top of each other. Okay, so like what I mean here, 2x and 2x, the y's are together, the equal signs are together, and the numbers are together. Everything is on top of one another. Okay, and so that's what it would look like if you would want to use elimination. Same thing here. The x's are together, the y's are together, equal signs are together. Okay. All right. So at the bottom of the page, we're just going to write which method is going to be the easiest. Okay. So on this one, when I look at this one has a y by itself. One of them has a y by itself. Okay. I would use substitution. All right, this next one, both of the x's are together, both of the y's are together, the equal signs are together, the other numbers are together. I would use elimination here. Okay, and then here, these are both y equals. Okay, so these are both in the y equals mx plus b. I would use graphing here. Okay, so same thing here, y equals, they're both that way, so I would use graphing here again. This one has an x by itself, okay? This would not be elimination because notice where the equal signs are, okay? So we would have substitution, and then this last one would be elimination. Okay, so now we're going to take the back of your paper and we're going to look at an example of each one. All right, so it says write the method you will use or will be using and then solve the system. Only use the graph if you need it. So only using the graph if I need it. Okay. All right, so when I'm looking at this system, the first thing I notice is right here, there's an x by itself. Okay, because I have an x by itself, I want to use substitution. Okay, substitution means you're going to plug something in. Okay, now, since this problem has x equals this, what I'm going to do is plug all of this that I'm circling in for x, because that is what x equals. Okay, so I'm going to have 4 parentheses. Where this x is, I'm putting all of this that I've circled. Okay, and then I'm just going to write the rest of the problem. So minus 3y equals 7. Okay, and then I need to solve the problem. So I'm going to distribute first. It'll be 8y plus 12 minus 3y equals 7. All right, then I'm going to do 8y minus 3y because those are like terms. So 5y plus 12 equals 7. And you can subtract 12 from both sides. 5y equals negative 5. Okay, and then we can divide by 5. That'll give me y equals negative 1. Okay, now that is only part of my problem. Okay, so when you're solving systems, your answer is going to be a point. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get my answer going up here. All right, so what I've just solved for is my y value. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the y value space. Remember, points are always x and then y. So I've found my y. Now I'm going to go back to either equation. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to plug this negative 1 back in for my y. I'm going to use the first one. So this is the equation I'm using. I'm taking my answer that I found. I'm plugging it in for y here because that's what I found. So x equals 2 times negative 1 plus 3. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Bring down the plus 3. And then negative 2 plus 3 is 1. Okay, and that is my other part of my answer. Okay, so your answer here would be 1, negative 1. Okay, so substitution is all about plugging stuff in. All right, let's look at the next one. All right, on this one, both of them are y equals. They're both in y equals mx plus b. So I would do graphing. Okay, so remember when you graph, you need your slope, you need your y-intercept. Okay, so on the first line, my y-intercept is 0, negative 3, and my slope is negative 2. So I'm going to start there, 0, negative 3, and my slope's negative 2. So I'm going to go up 2, and then left 1. Up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, and then draw my line. Okay. So let's see, I'm going to change that to blue so that it's the same as my dots. Okay, so that's that one. Now this one, notice it's rearranged. I'm going to rewrite it as 1/3 x plus 4. Okay, my y-intercept is 0, 4. My slope is 1/3. So I'm going to start at 0, 4. Okay, and then I'm going up 1 to the right 3. Up 1, right 3. Now I can also go down 1 and left 3. Okay, and I'm going to do that so that I can make my lines actually cross one another. Okay, and then the point at which they cross, so right here, this point, that is my solution or my answer. So that point is at -3, +3. Okay, and then our last method. Okay, everything is very nicely on top of one another. X's are, the Y's are, and everything else. So we are going to do elimination. Elimination means you need to cancel one of your variables out. So cancel one of the variables. Okay. Now, one thing I want you to look for is like both of these are 3's, but if one of them was a -3, they would cancel out. A positive number and a negative number of the same thing will cancel out. So I want to make, I'm just going to say this one, a -3. So I'm going to multiply this whole problem by -1. Okay, and we'll keep this one the same. 10x plus 3y equals -2. Now, -1 times -4x is +4x. -1 times 3y is -3y. And -1 times 26 is -26. Okay, so on elimination, this is what I want to happen. I want these to be opposite numbers that are the same so that I can cross them out. That way my y's go away. Okay, and so once you do that, now we have like an addition problem. I'm going to combine my x's. So 10x plus 4x is 14x. Those canceled. And then -2 minus 26 is -28. And I'm going to divide by 14 to finish solving for x. -28 divided by 14 is -2. Okay, so for my solution, my x value is -2. All right, but I still need my y value. Okay, so I'm going to take this -2 and plug it back into either equation. It does not matter which one you use. I'm going to go with the first one. So I'm going to copy down that first equation. And then I'm plugging this in right here for x. So this x will go away and the -2 will go in its place. Okay, and I want to now solve it for y so that I can get the other part of my solution. So 10 times -2 is -20. Bring down 3y equals -2. Add 20 to both sides. So 3y equals -2 plus 20 is 18. I can now divide by 3 on both sides and get y equals 6. Okay, and so that is the other value for my solution. Okay, so you do not have to use your graph here for elimination. So those are your 3 methods. You're going to have some assignments in Delta Math to work on.